October 13th, 1307. Before dawn, men with swords and sealed orders surrounded Templar commanderies across France. What followed was one of the most coordinated betrayals in medieval history. The Knights Templar, once praised as holy warriors and guardians of Christendom, were declared heretics, tortured, imprisoned, executed. The order was dismantled in a matter of months, their wealth seized, their secrets buried. But what if one of them survived? And what if that man kept a journal, not just of what happened, but of what the Templars were really protecting? In 1894, beneath a ruined abbey in Portugal, an iron-bound tube was discovered. Inside, a parchment codex, sealed with wax, written in Latin, signed with a red cross. It belonged to a Templar knight named Etienne of Rouen. He wasn't a master. He wasn't high-ranking, but he saw enough, and what he left behind has haunted historians and heretics ever since.
I was 12 when I took the oath. My name is Brother Etienne of Rouen. I served the Order of the Temple with sword and scripture. We rose before the sun, prayed in silence, trained without complaint. We bled beside each other, and we kept our vows: poverty, chastity, obedience. We owned nothing, but we were rich in purpose. The world feared us, kings borrowed from us, pilgrims followed us, and for 200 years we held the line between the East and the West. But power breeds envy, and men of God are not always godly. I write this now, not as a knight, but as a fugitive, a witness, perhaps the last.
Etienne's journal isn't a history, it's a memory, raw, haunted, half-buried in metaphor. But there's something inside it, something that feels bigger than just survival. It tells of the purge, yes, the betrayal, but also of a relic hidden beneath the floor of a Templar chapel, something the church feared even more than the order itself. Etienne called it the map of the deep.
They came in silence, sealed orders, iron blades. The Pope called us heretics. The king called us traitors. I watched them drag Brother Arnaud from his bed and beat him until he confessed to demons he had never met. We did not worship the devil. We remembered too much. I fled that night, not from cowardice, from duty. I carried something more valuable than my life: the scroll sealed in ash and wax, the map. It was not a map of land. It was a pattern of stars, of dates, of blood.
Modern scholars have dismissed Etienne's map as medieval mysticism, a metaphor, but the symbols he described, planetary alignments, cycles of fire and silence, match astronomical records unknown in his time. He wrote of a great realignment, not just of the sky, but of society, a pattern of power, suppression, reset.
The master once told me, we do not guard treasure, we guard memory. The map showed the return of something old, something that moves beneath the surface of history. I was never told the full truth, but I heard whispers of cities beneath the sea, of vaults carved in stone that bleeds, of a voice that speaks when the stars are right. We were not the first to carry this knowledge, only the latest.
In the final third of his journal, Etienne's entries grow more fragmented, but his language begins to shift. Less soldier, more witness, more mystic. He references what he calls the drowned vault. He quotes from scrolls written in what he describes as a language older than Babel, and he mentions, only once, a phrase etched in ivory: Adonai weeps below the sea.
I have seen drawings of an ark, not of wood, but of gold and fire, lined with letters that scorched the eyes. One of the elders called it the seat of the seraphim. They said it was brought from the east of Eden, that no man may touch it and live. We were told never to speak of it, but I carried a message once to a chamber below Montségur. I did not enter, but I heard it hum. Something beneath the stone was awake.
There are no confirmations, no names, no coordinates. Etienne wasn't a high-ranking knight. He wasn't trusted with everything, but he was trusted to carry messages. And he saw enough to ask questions, the kind we're still asking. Some believe his writings hint at the Ark of the Covenant. Others believe he was referring to Atlantis, not as a myth, but as a memory. A civilization destroyed not by flood, but by fire, and buried by time. Could the Templars have been preserving fragments of this knowledge, or protecting something even older?
We were not meant to keep it forever, only to watch, to wait, until the stars return to their stations and the stone sings again. When that day comes, do not look away. Do not forget who we were.
In his final entry, Etienne says nothing, just a drawing. A chamber with 7 pillars, a box in the center, flames surrounding it. In the corner, scratched in almost burnt ink, one word, sigillum. The seal. Etienne vanished after 1310. Some say he died in hiding. Others say he found the vault, or entered it, and never came back.
If this page survives me, then the silence is broken. You are now the keeper of the fire.
So what was Etienne's map? A prophecy? A code? A warning? Or just the final words of a dying man? Too broken to make sense of what he saw? Whatever it was, it survived. It was hidden. And now it's been read. Maybe the fire he spoke of never truly went out. Maybe it's still burning, waiting for someone to find it again. Some stories were never meant to be myths. Some secrets don't stay buried. And some knights don't ride into history. They ride into legend.